In today's video, I'm going to take you through how to use the pattern command in Fusion 360. So, to find the pattern, you'll kind of get the same pattern in each of the different sort of aspects of it. So, under your sketch environment, if I go to my create, you'll see at the bottom here I've got a mirror, a circular pattern, and a rectangular pattern. So, with this, if I, for instance, had to go draw just a rectangle over here, and I opt to go for the, say, rectangular pattern, you'll notice over here I've got objects. It's looking for a 2D sketch object in the direction that I want to go into. So coming down over here, select my my rectangle, my sketch, and then what I can do is, it's nice, I can just drag these arrows, and you'll see there how it will go and create a 3x3 rectangular pattern. If I drag on this arrow over here, you'll see there it creates a creates a bigger distance between each one. And if I drag this out over here, you see it'll just increase the entire distance, but I am able to go and say, for instance, I want five profiles in this pattern over here. So that's the circular pattern, the rectangular pattern for your sketch. If I had to try and do a circular pattern, so let's go and select our objects over here. What it's going to ask me for is a center point. Now, if I go and just try and click anywhere, it's not going to give me that center point. If I try and click on the edge, it will. Okay, so it will identify vertices. If I really did have to, I'd have to go put a point down somewhere. So I'd put a point in over there, and then from that, I can go and just delete this. Delete this over here. See, just over there. Okay. Okay, so if I go back to my circular pattern, okay, you'll notice now when I create my geometry, select that, and select my center point, which is what I created as the center point over there. Now, what you'll see, let me just move this across. Okay. So what you'll see over there is, well, I've got my my grips where I can increase and decrease the amount of objects that I want around there. Okay. And if I select this little button over here, I can do partial or symmetric as well. So you'll see there it's only going around to 180 degrees, but I can say, look, it must go further than that 180 degrees that I've got. And I can also control the amount, the angle through this option over here. Okay. Now with this over here, if I wanted to, let's go and delete that. It's going to go delete this whole sketch. Going on to my my pattern in the 3D environment. So there's a couple of different options we've got over here when we create a pattern. So if I go to rectangular pattern, what it does is it brings up the pattern dialog box, and I'm able to change between pattern on a path, circular pattern, or rectangular pattern. If I go to object type, you'll see I've got bodies, faces, features, and components. Okay, so just be careful of what you're selecting over here. It also depends on what you're going to create in your pattern. Now, if I look at what I've actually got in my drawing at the moment, so I don't have any components. As you can see, there's only one body part over there, components. And if I go into my bodies over here, I've got body 1, body 2, and body 3. Okay, so let's go and do a pattern. So rectangular pattern, and I'm going to pattern the body. So you can see there it picks up that body over there, highlighted in your browser, and then your axis, which way you want it to run. So I'm going to select that over there, or you could have gone into your origin and selected one of these XYZ axes, which would probably be a better idea. Okay, but we've done this. Select my my sort of arrows over here, and I can just drag it along and create those 9 bodies over there. Okay, if I do not say, for instance, want the middle one, I can click on this little suppression button, and you'll see there it will not create that. Okay, so I can go and suppress bodies that I don't want. And over here now, you'll see there I've got a whole lot of different bodies. Okay, so they're all individual body types, and if I had to go to this, say right click, I can create components from those bodies, and it would create 9 components from those 9 different bodies over there. Okay. The next thing I can do over here is I can do a rectangular pattern. So we can either go to rectangular pattern and change it to circular pattern. So I'm going to create a circular pattern, or I'll come down over here, pattern, circular pattern. Brings up the same dialog box. It just goes straight to your circular pattern. This one over here, I want to pattern that hole. Now that hole is actually a feature. It's not a body, a face, or a component. So I'm going to have to go to features, and then I'm able to select that feature over there, and then select the axis. Over there you can see I can make it 5, and it'll go all the way through. And once again I can go and suppress any ones that I don't want. So I've got a pattern that is a little bit irregular. The last one I can do is I can do a pattern on a component. So with the pattern on the component, select that. Okay, and it doesn't allow me to select anything because these are not components. Okay, so what I can do, say let's go for instance, just go and create components from these bodies. Okay, and if I go back to my pattern components, you'll notice now I'm able to select these components over here. Okay, so it hasn't same bit of graphics issues over there. But select, say for instance, go back to my rectangular pattern. Now I've selected this, but I've selected the body. Notice over here, if I go down into my component, it's actually selected the body and not the component. If I go and create my pattern off this and I click on OK, it has now created 3 bodies within that component. So it's a good idea to just be wary of what you actually are selecting, or what filter you've got selected when you pattern, because depending on that depends on what actually gets created over here. If I had to say, well, let's go create the pattern, you'll see it selects all 3 bodies, and I can say, look, right, let's go and create a pattern. And what is it going to do over here? So there's component 6. You'll see there that it has created a couple more components. So I've got more components sitting over here. Okay, so there's component 9. Which one is it over here? Just go to my selection filter. Selection component priority. Okay, so there we go, it's component 4. Okay, and there's component 4 instance 1, component 4 instance 2, and component 4 instance 3. Okay, so it is the same component. I'll make a change to the one, it will make a change to the other ones as well. So that's just a quick look at your rectangular and circular pattern, and just taking a note on how when you select your pattern, make sure that you select the correct object type, as that can affect what is actually being created in your Fusion 360 design. Thank you very much for watching.